Hey, Tubi, hoo. I've actually gone now from 15 subscribers to 19. So I am climbing slowly. The trouble is, I'm not climbing quick enough. Now, peeps, I need subscribers so I can do lives. I wish to do lives to teach mainly the Muslims of how false their silly cult is. For instance, where Muhammad said, "Jiggy jiggy with your wife is better than 70 prayers to Mr. Allah." Lots of Muzzies don't know this. I need to teach them it. Are you saying, Muzzies, that your Mr. Allah and praying to him is so weak, feeble and useless, you're better off jiggy-jiggying with your wife? Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things like that that need discussing, that they just don't know. Like, for instance, Muhammad, who saw Mr. Allah as a pale young man with curly hair, beardless, in a green suit, by an Tablis book by Ibn Jamir, Ibn Tamir, Ibn Jamir, Ibn Jammu, Ibn Jabbar, and Ibn Abbas. Again, lots of Muzzies don't know this. I mean, there's so much that Muzzies don't know about their false cult, and then there's so much that they are lied to on it as well. Like the 72 virgins. Now, the 72 virgins are only for the worst of Muslims, because everyone who's taken their shahada will go to Jannah. Even the worst Muslims who literally just say the shahada and then they do nothing else after that. They never ever pray to Mr. Allah. They never ever do Hajj. They never give zakat. They never go to the mosque. They don't actually do anything whatsoever that they're supposed to do, not even ever read the Quran. They will still end up going to heaven. And they're the ones who get 72 virgins. The good Muslims who pray, go to the mosque, do Hajj, give zakat, do everything else correctly, they will get more than 72 virgins. The really good Muslims who commit jihad will get thousands of virgins. Imagine that, folks. We thought it was bad enough when every Muslim was going to get 72. No, it's not. Because all the good Muslims, which, will probably be quite a few, get thousands. The mediocre Muslims still get 200 plus. It's only the really bad ones that get 72 virgins. So, really, it is a knocking shop in Mr. Allah's heaven, isn't it? Knock, knock, knock all day long. But then, seeing as it's better than 70 prayers, you can see why they have to knock, knock, knock all day long in heaven. I mean, seriously, it's just a joke, isn't it, really, Islam? It really is. Also what I need to obviously tell them about is the fact of how in the Middle East, Islam is dying. It's dead. It's finished. In Iran would have no Muslims today if it wasn't for Ayatollah Khomeini. If he wasn't there, then Islam would already be dead in Iran, because they've already left. All of them have already left. They're fed up with it. And when Israel start bombing them, they're going to get even more fed up with it. Syria's fed up with it. Lebanon's fed up with it. Egypt's fed up with it. Even Turkey is getting fed up with Islam now. Saudi Arabia has got more bars and gay bars than Soho in London. Yes, it has. They're all fed up with it. They're all fed up with it in the Middle East. They've had enough of Islam. They all want to move away from it, and they all are moving away from it. Even in the States, where Islam has only just started, apostasy is at 75%. They leave it as soon as they join it, because they learn the truth. None of the peeps are told the truth by the Muzzies. They're not told that if you join, you can never leave, otherwise you have to die. You know, they're not told, oh yeah, we're allowed to rape little 5-year-old children. You know, they're not told none of that. None of that is told to them, the truth. They're told the lies. You know, they're not even told the part where they are allowed to lie. And as soon as they find out, which they do quite quickly, thanks to this sort of thing, social media, which is why I need followers, peeps, so I can go live and educational people on it. Yeah, as soon as they learn the truth, they leave. They go. They're not interested in it anymore. You know, and it's for a variety of reasons. You know, I mean, again, one of the other main reasons, other than the fact that they're allowed to rape little children, you know, and they're allowed to lie, and they're allowed to do all sorts of other things, you know, that they don't tell them about. As I say, yeah, you can't leave unless they kill you. Is the fact that Mr. Allah says he's the one who misguides people, you know, in Islam, and he does it 40 years before you were born. 40 years before you are born, according to Mr. Allah, he's the one who decides whether you are going to be a Muslim or not. 40 years before you are born. And no one can change it. When he says you're not going to be a Muzzy, no one can change it. So what was the point of Pooh Hamid? What was the point of Pooh Hamid coming to tell everybody about Mr. Allah when Mr. Allah already decides whether you're going to follow him or not 40 years before you are born? No point whatsoever. No point whatsoever, because no one can change it. Once Mr. Allah decides you're not going to be a Muzzy, you're not going to be a Muzzy. And then the worst thing of it all is that he then blames you for not being a Muzzy. He made you not be a Muzzy 40 years before you were born, and then he blames you for not being a Muzzy. This is, you know, ludicrous, total ludicrous, this cult, you know. And the thing is they cannot even see it. They cannot even see that when someone is telling them what to wear, what their name is, what language they should pray in and speak in, what time to pray, how to pray, what direction to pray in, what to eat, what to wear, what everything, what to do, everything. They cannot see that is slavery, and they have no free will. Even when you point that out to them, you know, you have no free will because you're told what you have to do all the way through. You're told what you have to wear. You're even told what your name is, Muhammad, Ali or Abu Bakr. You know, and you're told you have to speak and pray all in Arabica. There's no free will there. And when you have an apostasy law which states if you leave you must die, that again is not free will. There's no free will in Islam, even though they keep on saying over and over there is. There isn't. You know, I mean, I could go on and on and on with this rubbish from this Quran, you know, because there's so much in there, you know. Muhammad being controlled by Satan for over a year, and verses in the Quran being revealed in that year and going into the Quran, and they are still in the Quran. Allah admitting he's the best of liars, the best of deceivers. Surah 3, ayah 54. Read the Bible, John 8:44. The father of lies is Satan, and he's the liar. The God is not a liar, he's the God of truth. And yet Allah quite happily admits he is the best liar. He couldn't have said more clearly if he wanted to, I am Satan, you know, unless he wanted to. Then Surah 3, ayah 28, gives the right to every single Muslim to lie. They can lie to their family. They can lie to their mummy, daddy, sister, brother, their wives, everyone. They can lie to their friends and they can lie to their enemies. That's what Muhammad said the verse means, 3:28. Seriously, I mean, there's so much to go through with this rubbish book. There really is. And another one is obviously another one I want to do when I get my, YouTube up and running, is to discuss how from all of the prophets came with a message. That message was to believe and follow God. That message led you to heaven. So all of the previous prophets knew what the message was, they knew where it was going to lead you, and they know where they are going to end up because they followed and obeyed that message themselves. All of them except one, Muhammad. Muhammad said, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I'm going to end up. That's not a prophet of God. Because a prophet of God knows the message, he knows how to go to heaven, and he knows where he's going. That's a prophet of God. If you turn around and you say, I don't know how to get to God, I don't know how to follow God, and I don't know how to get to heaven, and I don't know if I'm going to go to heaven or not, you ain't no prophet of God. Simple. Abraham preached it, Moses preached it, Noah preached it, even though he wasn't a prophet, but they say he was. David preached it, Saul preached it, all of them preached it. Jesus preached it, John preached it, Malachi preached it, Jeremiah preached it, Zechariah preached it. Every single prophet from the start to the finish, all of them preached the same thing. Follow and obey God, do his will, and you will go to heaven. And each and every single one of them, yes, although they made mistakes, they stuck to it, they did it, and they will all be in heaven. Except one, Muhammad. Muhammad's the only one who said, I don't know. How can a prophet of God bring in the message of following God and obeying God to get to heaven not know if he's going to go there or not? It makes no senseless whatsoever. Now, please, people, this has been going on now since 2020. I've had my YouTube account since the year 2020. Now, I know lots of other brothers and sisters who have got their YouTube account up and running, and they do lives because they've had the 50 subscribers. Since 2020, 4 years ago, I am still stuck on 19 subscribers. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because obviously majority of people who see this are not Christian, they're atheist or they're Muslim, and I can quite understand they don't want me to go live. Definitely the Muzzies don't. I can guarantee you that. I was on Clubhouse, the Muzzies ran away from me. They went and debated everyone else. God Logic, they happily debated. Life, they actually happily debated. Albi, they happily debated. They happily debated everyone else except for me. They ran from me. They literally ran screaming from me and constantly blocked me. It got to the point where I had to leave Clubhouse in the end because none of them would debate me. None of them. Shadid Lewis ran miles from me screaming like a little Aisha, with his skirt flapping in the wind. TikTok was the same. TikTok, they all ran from me. None of them could defeat me. I defeated each and every single one of them within seconds. And eventually they got my account banned totally, permanently from TikTok. Just for giving dawah, nothing else. And because they kept calling me an Islamophobe, which is another thing I will totally destroy them on. It's impossible to be an Islamophobe. To have a phobia means you have an inane, inexplicable fear of something. That thing needs to be in existence for you to have an inane, inexplicable, incomprehensible fear of that thing. So it can be a tree. It can be a snake. It can be open spaces. It can be heights. All those things exist. you see, and you can have phobia of those things because they exist and you are afraid of that thing, even though it cannot hurt you. That's why it's an inane, inexplicable, incomprehensible fear of that thing, because it's something that can't hurt you, but you're still scared it will do. But to be an Islamophobic, you need to first of all believe that Islam exists. You need to first of all believe that Mr. Allah is real and that he exists. You have to first of all believe that Muhammad is real and he exists. In other words, you have to be a Muslim. So, and then you can be an Islamophobe because you know it exists, but you're afraid of it. So it's only Muslims who can be Islamophobic. Non-Muslims who don't believe in it, like me, don't believe in Mr. Allah, don't believe he exists, don't believe Muhammad was a prophet or even that he even existed, cannot have a phobia against it because it's non-existent. You cannot have a phobia against something that doesn't exist. And because as I say, I it doesn't matter who they are, whatever they do, whatever argument they bring. I've heard them all. I've got all the answers, and I shut them down immediately. I don't play with them. I don't toy with them. I just shut them down immediately. Corruption of the Bible. I can shut any Muslim down on the corruption of the Bible within seconds. I mean, usually what happens when I'm debating a Muslim is normally they will jump from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic to topic, because I just shut each one down within seconds and they just try jumping each and everywhere. And again, when that happens, I say, look, what you doing, mate? Stop jumping around like a bunny rabbit. Stick to one topic. You pick whatever topic you wish to stick to, and we'll stick to that one topic until we've finished it. And then I force them to pick one of the topics they've already raised and stick to that one topic. But anyway, before I can do any of that, peeps, I need subscribers, please. Obviously there's a lot as well that I can educate with the Bible. I mean, I'm not a world scholar or the master in the Bible, but there is a lot of things I do know about the Bible, such as Matthew's Gospel being the first Gospel written specifically for the Jews in Hebrew. And that's because when Jesus was crucified and resurrected, and the apostles and disciples were going round trying to convince everybody that Jesus Christ was the King and the Lord and the priest and God, there was still a lot of Jews that didn't believe it. Loads of them. And one of the reasons why many of them didn't believe it at the start is because they said, well, look, he's Jesus of Nazareth. He was from Nazareth. He was a Nazarene. He wasn't from Bethlehem, like our Torah, Micah 5:2, I think it is, says that he would be from Bethlehem. And also, because he was a Nazarene from Nazareth, he could not have been from the line of David, which again, our books say he was going to be from the line of David. This is why Matthew wrote his gospel first, within 5 to 6 years of the crucifixion and resurrection, before 40 AD, in Hebrew, specifically for the Jews, to prove to them that Jesus was born in Bethlehem and he was from the line of David. That's why when you read Matthew's Gospel, you can see from the first 2 chapters, chapter 1, the genealogy of Jesus Christ, and he also begins his Gospel with the Gospel of Jesus Christ. I think it's something like son of Abraham and son of David, something like that. He definitely mentions the son of David as well, and as I say, he then starts with the genealogy of Jesus Christ, And it's also why he's then split it into 3 groups of 14, because that is another significance for the Jews, which the Jews would pick out. It leads directly, as there's a direct link between the number 14 of Jesus Christ and David. And then it obviously goes into chapter 2, all about his birth from Bethlehem and the Exodus from out of Egypt, which again ties in with Deuteronomy chapter 18. As I say, basically the first 2 chapters written in such a way that the Jews would really understand 100%, oh yes, he definitely does fulfill the criteria of the Messiah, being from the line of David and being born in Bethlehem. And the other thing to note about Matthew's Gospel is that out of the 4 Gospels, Matthew is the one who uses the Torah the most. He quotes the Torah more than any of the other 4 Gospels. Then again, as I say, I can tell you Paul wrote the book of Hebrews, in Hebrew specifically for the Jews, Mark's and Luke's Gospel, and the timeline they were written in, and why, John's Gospel, and the timeline that was written in, and why. And all this information is so useful to you when you're reading the Gospels. You can understand a lot clearer as to how they've, written them and why they've written them, and the message that they're conveying in those Gospels. But as I say, I mean, all of this is, irrelevant unless I can get my 50 subscribers. I've currently got 19, folks. I need another 31. Just 31 peeps, and then I can do lives, we can do Bible studies, we can go into the Bible in depth, and as I say, I'd like more to sort of educate Muslims and give dawah to Muslims on their false Quran, the hadiths, the tafsirs, I mean, I've learnt so much with this false cult. And yeah, I feel the Lord God, would like me to use my talents to educate Muzzies especially. So please, people, subscribe to me. Please subscribe to me. Get your friends to subscribe to me. Pass it round. Get others to subscribe to me. Especially if you're a Christian brother or sister, get your people in your church to subscribe to me. Please, peeps. I need my subscribers so then I can go live and then I can do the educational dawah to the Muzzies. Because none of them realise I am an imam, I am a mufti, I am a sheikh, I am a caliph or bogner. Even the beard. I mean, I can tell you why Muzzies have beards. There's 2 main reasons why Muzzies have beards. The first main reason is because the longer the beard is, they believe that they get closer to God the longer their beard is. So if they've got a beard down to the floor, then they're really close to Mr. Allah. And the second reason is so that they don't get raped. Because according to the Muslims, if you're a man and you don't have a beard, you are more beautiful than a woman. And a man will jiggy you. He will put makeup on you, he will put a dress on you, and he will jiggy you if you don't have a beard. Because Muzzies truly believe men without beards are more beautiful than women. But then, seeing as they dress their women in black bin bags, not hard to see why. So, God bless everybody. Peace of Christ to everybody. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribe. The Lord will have it within his hands to make the people see this, to hopefully get my subscriptions. God bless you all. Peace of Christ.